the OMG hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode number, 384 of the OMG Hour, and I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
That's why we have show notes, so you can remember that one little detail of the show. That's the only thing we use it for, just the show number.
So we know what number we're on.
That's it. I am. Where's my notes? My name. Oh, Tico, Mr. Second Place. I misplaced my show notes and I forgot.
Actually, your name is just above your head. Just look up. Look up. There it is. See it? Right there. That's it.
So I am Tico, Mr. Ceiling Tile. Here again.
I don't even know why I deal with you on a weekly basis.
I show up.
Yeah, you show up. Your job is to show up and look pretty, and you can't even do that right.
No, I mean, I barely even showed up. So I was like at 4:58, I was napping on my chair, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get up and do a show. I set an alarm for it. So
we could have done the show an hour ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, here we are doing another show. But before we get any further, hit that subscribe button. Give us some more likes and some love. And let's get on with the show. So this week, you and I have had a chance to play through, not play through. We started playing The Kingdoms of Amalur, The Re-Reckoning, which just came out this week. I know the Xbox codes were late, so we both got a review code for it.
Yes.
I've been playing it a little bit. I'm only like maybe 2 hours in, so I don't want to capture footage right away. I'm going to get a little bit more footage next week after I've been able to play further.
All right. Do you want my footage from the first 3 minutes of the game? Because that's where I am.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about it next week once we get further in. But initial thoughts are, it's definitely not a remake, but it's a remaster. But it's, you know what it feels like to me, Tico? It feels like I'm playing an online MMO. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Graphically, it feels like an online MMO.
Yeah, it feels like I absolutely love this game. One of my favorite games of the last generation.
Agreed.
Absolutely loved it. It still feels very smooth in, again, the first 3 minutes of the game, because I literally, just before we started is when it finished downloading.
But it still feels like a previous gen game.
It does. It feels smooth, but it also feels like it does. It feels like the visuals are very gritty. It feels that they didn't like smooth over stuff as much as they like put some dirt on it to make it feel vintagey. Like that's what it feels. It feels like they made it like darker and again, I'm 3 minutes in, so I'm giving you the first 3 minutes impression.
Yeah,
so
well, let's wait till we're further in, because it's definitely
no. Let's rate it right now, Sean. Based off of the first 3 minutes, 87
out of,
I don't know, whatever it needs to be. I can't give you out of what.
That's not how our rating. Don't you remember how our ratings work?
Yeah, it was some random thing.
Wasn't it? So you're giving it 87 monkeys?
No, I'm giving it 87, and it will be. But I'll tell you what the 87 is out of when I've played more of the game.
It's just
right. If it's absolutely fantastic, it's 87 out of 87. If it's a terrible game, it's going to be 87 out of 2000.
2000 what though? Monkeys? Unicorns? What?
Units of gaming measurement.
Oh my gosh, Tico, you just don't get it.
Listen,
you don't.
I
get
understand what you're looking for here, and I refuse to conform.
You can't refuse to conform to our own rating system.
That's the whole point of our rating system. It doesn't conform, so I can refuse. That's how it works.
Tico, are you going to buy an Xbox Series S? Not an X. X or S. You have to be very specific which one you're calling about.
Yeah, so my mindset is to get the X because I want to be able to upgrade and have the more powerful unit, but I will probably end up with an S and an X.
But wait, why?
Well, because I have more than one TV in the house,
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
I'll put it like I'm not saying right
Listen,
away.
Tico, you're not going to get more achievements with an S.
No, but I can set that up, and my daughter plays a lot of Xbox and stuff like that as well. So depending on
So I'm not sure
what
what
is
you mean by by more powerful. The S is still more powerful than the One X.
yeah, so the X is more powerful than the S,
Yes, it is.
and so that's what I'm looking at there when I'm looking for my own personal usage machine.
So it was announced this week that the Xbox Series X/S will be out on November 10th. So we missed the mark. We were guessing the end of November.
I don't know who took notes for this. I remember saying specifically November 10th.
You certainly did not, Tico.
I said November 10th, and I believe I gave a time of 12:01 a.m.
You know, our listeners and our viewers don't appreciate you lying to them.
You don't know that. You haven't polled all of them. Some of them may not appreciate it, but if there's even one that does, that's who I'm here for.
So I believe we both said it would be November 27th for the Xbox, and we were totally wrong. So now we're waiting on the PlayStation 5. We're waiting on Sony to announce its date to see how close we are to that. Also,
November
they're
9th.
releasing on a Tuesday, and we guessed Fridays.
We did guess Friday. The Tuesday thing is.
So you're admitting you did not guess the 10th.
No, I'm saying the collective we.
Oh.
As in you. I refuse to acknowledge any wrongdoing or wrong malfeasance on my part.
Okay, Trump.
Yeah, so Sony. My guess is Sony's going to come out a day ahead. They're going to come out on the 9th.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
Okay. I don't know. Well, we get to reevaluate. I don't.
I still think they're going to be the 20th. I still think they're going to be the week after. 10 days later.
Yeah. Price point. What do you think? What do you think about the price points that were announced?
So in Canada, American, it's what $299 and $499.
Yes.
I think those are valid prices for a new system.
Those are fantastic prices for a new system.
Absolutely.
I mean,
in fact, it's cheaper in Canada. If you believe it or not, it's actually cheaper for us. Like,
yes,
based on current exchange rate, it's $5.99 and $3.79, which is like Americans. You're not allowed to cross the border anyway. But if you were, it's actually cheaper to buy it in Canada.
Yeah, our dollar sucks, so you would be better off to come here and get it. And actually, they did announce. I don't know if they announced, but Best Buy announced today pre-order date starting September 22nd.
Yes, that is, I believe, across the board. I think that was a Microsoft announcement as well, September 22nd pre-orders.
Yes.
Personally, I think I am not going to get a Series X at launch. I don't have a reason to, even with Game Pass.
Yeah.
I will get the PS5 at launch, but I'm not going to get a Series X.
You can't afford that gold PS5 that they announced and an Xbox.
No, I need to pre-order that 8,000 pound solid gold, 24 karat gold PS5. So my pre-order is in for that, definitely. I was thinking of getting two, Tico, but
one for upstairs, one for downstairs.
Yeah, but I think I'll just get the one for now.
Oh, all right.
And then if I do want another one, I'll get a really cheap one that like retail or something, whatever, pocket change.
Like a platinum one or something like that, or silver?
Maybe, we'll see. Maybe I'll just go with a bronze one.
That's just throwing your money away.
Latinum. I want a latinum one.
A latinum?
Yeah. I want Cork to make me one made out of latinum.
I'll see what we can do.
Tico doesn't get the reference.
I'm gonna guess it's a.
Many people just got that reference, Tico.
It's a Trek Wars thing.
You did. You didn't.
Was it Gandalf on Trek Wars that said that?
So the Xbox Series S specs. We're like, I don't know, this game. I don't even know what this is. Are we playing a game here? This is a show, Tico, not a game, and I think it's completely off the rails.
It has been for years.
The Xbox Series S specs. There's a comparison at IGN that actually compares the difference between the X and the S. And it's honestly, it's not that different, but at the same time, it kind of is, like, especially with GPU power. So the Xbox Series X is 12.15 teraflops, whereas the Series S is only 4 teraflops, which is actually less teraflops than the current Xbox One X. But it is a better processor than the current gen. They're both the same processor, almost the same gigahertz. It's 3.6 gigahertz versus 3.4, but it's the same exact CPU.
But it has that built-in speaker.
Right? What is it with the design? What is that? What is
just
that?
A weird thing. It's like,
it's a
I don't know, put a beauty mark on it somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know. Just slap it right across the front so it looks like, a speaker.
It's a ventilation grill, but why is it black on white? Because you're right. It just looks like a speaker. If it was white, I don't think there'd be any memes about it at all.
People would look at it and go, okay, fine. This is the most ridiculous thing. So this looks like a speaker. You're going to get the PS5 that looks like a router. People are going to break into your house to steal your electronics. They'll be like, he's got nothing.
Listen, I still love the design of the PS5. I don't care what you say. Although it is freaking huge when you've seen the comparisons, it's a freaking huge thing, but I love the design. And I'll tell you, I think I said it a while back, I have been waiting for the day every time there's a new console and you get all these artist renders of what it might look like. And there's always these sort of futuristic, fancy looking ones that I'm like, man, I would love to have a console that looks like fancy and really kind of designed.
I want my console to look like a building in Blade Runner. That's what I want.
And I finally am getting that future kind of weird design for a console. Finally, it's not just a box.
I'm okay with just a box, to be honest with you, if it plays my games.
But of course, that's all that matters. I love the design because it's so... It's got that futuristic design.
It is a unique design.
It's that sci-fi design is what I like about it. It's that science fiction-y design to it that I just love. And it's the first time we've got a console that has that kind of look to it. So my dream has finally come true, that I finally have a console that actually looks like a sci-fi piece of hardware.
Well, just wait till the PS6.
There won't be a PS6.
No?
I don't know. It'll be all digital by then.
But it'll still be called like the PS6 upgrade software brain chip or something like that.
The brain chip.
The brain chip. You're just gonna...
Let's patent that right now, the brain chip.
Yeah, you know what? There's probably some company somewhere, like probably in the States, that has like figured out a way to turn like, sheep's brains into a potato chip or something like that, and they've got a patent on that.
Oh my gosh. Let's look it up.
Brain chips.
So what else? The Series S, Microsoft has announced apparently for the Series X and the Series S, they're gonna release what they call storage expansion cards, which is not a card, but it's an SSD that you're going to be able to plug into the device in order to expand its memory. But you can't just buy any SSD. You actually have to buy this specific storage card because it conforms with the speed of the internal SSD. You got to wonder how much this is going to cost, though.
I'm not. I'll be honest with you. This I'm not happy about.
Because right now you have external drives on your Xbox.
I have like, I don't know what I have, like 3 external drives plugged into this thing. And I don't like the idea of having. And I'm okay with them coming up with their own, but I know that these things are going to be so bloody expensive.
That's going to be super expensive.
It's like, oh, you wanted another terabyte of storage? Guess what? Give me $300.
Yeah.
I'm like, for 1 terabyte?
Yep.
Right. And that's what I'm worried about, is because it is proprietary, it is going to be ridiculously expensive. And
I agree.
I tend to keep right now I keep everything that I have not completely finished is on my hard drive. I have 1,500 games on these hard drives right now.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it, Sean. That's a lot. It's a lot of games. It's a lot.
And do you have 1,000 achievements on all of them?
No, that's why they're still on there.
Well,
That's
then
the 50.
you can't upgrade to the new series until you finish all those games, Tico. You haven't finished your dinner, so you can't
So this
have
is
dessert.
so this current system is my broccoli.
That-
Is that what it is?
That's right.
And I can't have the new system, which is ice cream, until I finish my
You
broccoli. That's
can't
what's
have
happening?
dessert until you finish your broccoli
All right, fine. I'll finish everything then.
and the
And
liver and onions.
I have never had liver. Is it good? I don't
It's
know.
disgusting, Tico.
Well, I didn't imagine it was good. Nobody ever. Why do people make it if it's not good? Like, nobody likes it. Why does anybody ever make
I
liver and
know
onions?
a few people that love liver and onions, and I'm like, how it's just so freaking disgusting, liver and onions. I don't know why we're talking about liver and onions
I
all of
don't.
a
I
sudden.
will say this. You know what I do like? Brussels sprouts are really good.
Yeah, love Brussels sprouts with some butter,
Love
salt and
and
butter.
and bacon.
Oh, welcome to the food hour. We're going to talk
Yes.
food.
I'm just going to randomly talk about a different vegetable every few minutes.
Okay, let's talk about a new vegetable after this game because you have to relate
right.
the vegetable to the game.
All right.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is actually moving up a week in its release, so it actually releases with the Xbox Series
Well, that makes sense.
consoles.
That makes sense. That's a good decision. Don't make people wait a week. Let them get it right away. And let's talk about some shallots.
I was going to say turnips, but shallots would be okay too.
No, I'm excited about Assassin's Creed. It is like I believe that's going to be the second of the Ubisoft plethora of games that we're gonna to see. I think we've won. Is it Legion is October 29th?
Oh, right. Legion will be before that, right? Legion
October
comes
20
out, and then Valhalla, and then the game formerly known as Gods and Monsters will be
Correct,
out
we
in
are-
December.
Yeah.
And
Far Cry is March.
Far Cry is next year. So I'm thinking this year.
Yeah.
And I think that, is it just those three this year for Ubisoft? Plus,
there's
I mean, they got other smaller titles, I think, coming, but they're AAA stuff. I think it's just those three.
Yeah. I think it's just those three this year.
I mean, there's new expansions to Division and Ghost Recon and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But new games.
And then we got a remake announced this week, which was at the Ubisoft Forward event.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Ubisoft Forward yet. We're getting to that. You're skipping.
I thought
my friend.
we
You're
were talking about
skipping.
Assassin's Creed, and that's Ubisoft.
You're just all over the place. All right.
I'm not all over the place. Here's the problem is you're looking at the show notes again for guidance, and you shouldn't, because that's only just to get the show number. That's it. We can jump. We're okay. So you were saying.
We're talking about Xbox, so let's stick with Xbox for a while.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I
Okay.
could have taken these two items and reversed them in the show notes so that we talk about Ubisoft after. But whatever.
You know what?
What did
You know what I
Xbox?
love?
What did Xbox announce this week?
I just want to say real quick before we go on. I love that we have gotten to the point in this show where we don't care
Whatever.
about the order of things or proper procedure anymore. It's just we're gonna.
You know what? We have been doing so much work on our other shows on YouTube, 6 days a week we're doing. And this is our chance to just relax and have some fun and just talk, you and I, talk about what's happened this week, whether it's in order or not.
Right.
So what
if-
did
if
Xbox Game Pass announce this week, Tico?
Oh, yeah. So they have merged services with
It sounded like you
EA.
said they have murdered services.
They've merged services with EA Play, formerly EA Access.
Yes.
EA Play. They have now merged services. So if you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, starting this holiday, you will get EA Play included for no extra charge. So if
What's
you're paying,
going to happen if you're already paying for EA Access?
I don't know. I'm already paying for it. So amazingly, this announcement came out one day
After your
one
renewal.
day after my automatic renewal of EA Play. And it's not super expensive. It's $30. I'm not going to worry so much about $30. I could have probably had it reversed or whatever, but it's not till holiday anyways. So, but yeah, if you do have it, turn off your automatic renewal if you're already subscribing to Game Pass.
You got to wonder if they're going to turn them off for everyone, because why? Like, if you're already subscribed to Game Pass,
Yeah.
They must, there's got to be a way of merging that. It's like they're not going to charge you for EA access as well if it's already part of it. You know what I mean? That would be stupid for them to take another payment for something you're already paying for.
Yes, because EA doesn't take other payments for things that you're already
It's
paying
not EA.
for.
It's Microsoft.
Well, Microsoft is taking it on behalf of EA.
Yes, but you're paying Microsoft. So if you're already paying for it, they must be turning off auto because you're merging the two subscriptions. So there's got to be something going on there.
How it is, they might just, EA might just say, listen, we're going to take the money and count it as DLC and just, take the extra money anyways. I'm not sure. I immediately, when I saw that news, I went on to manage my subscriptions and turned off the auto renewal for my EA Play.
I have a feeling that entire subscription is going to disappear from our list because we're already in Game Pass. Right. So,
they may just say, hey, this is now part of this, and that's that. You can't buy it separately.
Right.
Why would you? It's a stupid choice, to be honest with you. If you're going like, man, I really want a subscription service, let's take the one that's only going to give me EA games, and let's not take Game Pass.
Game Pass. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, Ubisoft Forward happened this week. I don't know if we've mentioned that before at all in this show. If we may, I don't think it's not once been mentioned yet, right?
Listen, you know what? You need to put numbers beside things if you want them in order. If it's just a dot, it means it's a talking point that I can mention whenever. Don't change it to numbers now. It doesn't count now.
It absolutely counts. And don't tell me what I can and can't do.
All right.
There. It's numbers. Are you happy?
All right. So as number 5 suggests, we're now talking about EA Forward. And section A of number 5 means we are now going to speak of the game formerly known as Gods and Monsters.
Which is, by the way, what we're going to call it, because as we said last week, Immortals Phoenix Rising is
we
not...
don't care for the name.
No.
We don't care for it. So we're treating it like Prince, the game formerly known as. They showed some gameplay.
Yeah. Did you watch Ubisoft Forward?
I did not. I didn't even realize it was the 10th until we were doing an interview later, and after the interview, it's like, oh, it's the 10th.
Have you watched it since then?
No.
Then how is it you're speaking about this talking point?
It's written down.
Oh, so the extent of what Tico knows is what I wrote in the show notes.
I did. I know. I read it. I haven't seen the gameplay footage. I've seen a bunch of pictures of it because I did read an article on the fact that they showed off the gameplay, and it does. The pictures of the gameplay look really cool.
Tico likes pictures.
I enjoy pictures. I mean, better than words. They picture.
Anyway, so the game formerly known as Gods and Monsters showed a lot of gameplay yesterday. Like, probably a good 20. I feel like it was 20 minutes, but it may not have been. But it was. I was enjoying it. It looks a lot of fun. And you get these wings. You keep upgrading your abilities and your powers, and you end up getting new items. And one of the items is are wings. You can actually glide through, so you can just jump off a mountaintop. That you can survey the mountain and find locations. I'm going to go there, and then just jump off the mountain and sail down. It's like skydiving in Ghost Recon or something, right?
Yeah.
Only you've got wings. You can just go wherever you want. It's like, oh man, I love that. I love that mechanic in any game. Any game that lets you fly is amazing.
Far Cry had a lot of that. The wingsuit. And you get up high. It's like, I need to get there. I don't feel like driving or walking there, so I'm going to climb. I'm going to jump from here and just wingsuit it across the entire map.
I love wingsuiting or parachuting down into an encampment. Like, you basically go right above where you want to go and then just jump out and go straight down and land right where you need to in front of an enemy encampment. And, and you don't have to worry about landing you can just crash the, kind of do a landing like you would do.
Yeah.
Just crash the helicopter into their base.
An effective landing, they call that in the manual.
I loved what I saw of Gods and Monsters. I am really looking forward to this game. Like, before, I didn't know what to expect of it. Yeah. Now it is literally just an action adventure in a fully open open world, many different lands, each land inhabited by a different Greek god, and you are trying to reclaim the land for that god because it's been taken over by the underworld. And all these creatures and monsters. And so you are basically fighting all these different places. And there's, in one case, there's basically like a portal that's been opened up. And so you have to fight the creatures in front of the portal and then go into the portal. And it's like puzzles. Inside the portal is a puzzle that you have to utilize all your abilities in order to get through. And once you grab the item at the end, it closes the portal, so that the monsters don't come out anymore.
This again, I haven't seen the actual footage yet, but all of this sort of is very reminiscent of a Zelda type game.
Yes, it very much like a Zelda game.
With the going through the different temples and stuff like that.
Absolutely, no, you're absolutely
using the
right.
ability that you've just learned.
Yep.
And figure out how to do it, and then getting another item, and then you're not
wrong. This feels like more of a guided. Maybe it's not even guided. I don't know. But no, there's quests. You actually get quests. Yeah. So it's more like a quest-based Zelda. You're like a Breath of the Wild, but you actually getting quests and stuff. You're absolutely right. That is a perfect description of what this is. I think you're right. And it looks beautiful.
That's just from a picture or two. That's how good I am. I don't just need to see pictures, and I can do that.
You're fantastic, Tico. That's why I keep you
playing games. Instead of playing games, I'm just going to look at some pictures and here's my review.
That's why I keep you on the show.
That's why.
Yeah, your picture intuitiveness.
That's what I go for. That's what I was here for. Part B in our section on Ubisoft Forward
of Section 5
mentioned the Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
That's a different
remake.
Game. Prince of Persia.
Yeah. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake.
Yeah, not remaster. This is a remake.
Which makes me happy. This is a January release, too, so it's pretty quick.
Listen, it does make me happy, yes, and it doesn't as well, because from what we saw yesterday, in my opinion, does not look like a remake. It looks like a remaster.
Well, judging from the picture that I saw, I can't tell the difference between...
it's a remake in the fact that they are remaking the assets. Like, they're not just taking the originals and up-resing them. They're rebuilding the assets. Yeah. But the game did not look like a current-gen game, in my opinion. It looked like a remaster of like a 360 game.
So it looks like, they're rebuilding everything, but they're not changing any of the gameplay mechanics or anything like that. So it's going to look prettier.
Yeah, it's the same game.
But it's going to play exactly the same as the old one did. They're not smoothing anything out. They're not fixing anything. So it may or may not be.
I'm not sure if that's true. I think they are redoing the whole game. It's going to feel like a new game. But visually, I don't think it's as up-resed. It's not as modern as I think it could be. It still looks like they're redoing an old game.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what future pictures hold.
Fair. What they showed us yesterday, they did say was sort of the beta gameplay or alpha gameplay. I think that was what they said. It was early alpha gameplay. So it could look better by the time it's done. I just was not... Yeah. I was not, as much as I want to play the game again, because it was a great game, and I was a huge fan of Prince of Persia, and I love that it's coming back, and my hope is that this is just the beginning of, this is like, hey, here's a new Prince of Persia, and then guess what? We're reinvigorating the franchise.
Yeah, Prince of Persia, but something else.
It didn't look like what I would expect from a new Prince of Persia. I expected it to look better. And
you want a next gen.
I want a next gen Prince of Persia. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And honestly, if I were to pick a Prince of Persia to remake, I'm not sure if Sands of Time would be the one.
Which one is it then, Sean?
I really enjoyed the last one they made, and why can't I think of what the name of it is? Do I even have Prince of Persia still? I probably do. I just can't see it.
I thought Sands of Time was the last one.
No, hang on a second. I've got them right here. All right. So the two games that I still have from Xbox 360. It's just the remake, the redo, the Prince of Persia.
Oh, Prince of Persia. That's the one I thought this one was.
No, see, then there's also Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands, which I believe was a sequel to The Sands of Time. From the creators of Sands of Time was The Forgotten Sands, and then there was the sort of, the restart, just called Prince of Persia, and that's the one I would love to see come back, because that was fantastic.
That's the one I thought this one was. All right.
No, Ubisoft, the one they're redoing was an original Xbox game, not. I don't believe it was 360. It was original Xbox.
All right, I want just Prince of Persia, that one there that's in your hand. Send that to them. Tell them to remake that one.
Oh, just send it off and say, do you want me to actually send this one to them?
You know what? They may have a copy of it lying around, so just send them a note.
I will get on that.
You know what? Take a picture of it and send it to me.
Because I am in charge of all that, am I?
I can't be me.
Anyway, like I said, my hope is that this is the beginning of a new Prince of Persia comeback. I would love to see Prince of Persia come back.
Yes, and then next they can get us our Splinter Cell that we've been wanting.
Okay, so can I just say, Ubisoft Forward, basically, Gods and Monsters, Prince of Persia, they showed off a lot of new stuff, some new multiplayer downhill games. I can't remember what the name of it was, because honestly, it just didn't interest me too much.
I saw it. I can't remember what it's called either, but I saw it for available. It's pre-order.
Honestly, the whole thing was like, yeah, whatever. I'm excited for Gods and Monsters. I'm excited for Sands of Time. And they showed more Watch Dogs stuff. Of course, I'm excited for Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
But there was no surprise announcement. There was still nothing about, even a teaser for a Splinter Cell. They're bringing Sam Fisher to Rainbow Six.
Not good enough.
Not good enough. Still didn't even mention Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, there was an off-screen discussion about Skull and Bones.
Oh, there was some new space game. Oh, there's a VR space game coming, but not for PSVR. Then there was a VR Far Cry game, not for PSVR.
Yeah.
So there's like they talked about a couple of really cool looking VR games that is only for PC.
Yeah, so not for the VR system that Sean has.
Yes, exactly. Because otherwise I would play them because they looked amazing.
Yeah.
Right? But and I'm surprised it's not for PSVR because Ubisoft has always supported PSVR. Since day one, Ubisoft has been doing that. So I'm really curious if this is just for now and then eventually it will come to PSVR. They also announced another VR that was specific for physical location VR. Like it's an actual VR place you go, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a place you would go and you have a VR experience. It's a free roaming VR experience, and they've built a game for it. And I just can't think of what the name is because I've never heard of it until now. But I'm still really upset that we haven't got that announcement for something to do with Splinter Cell.
It's such a great IP that is missing, and we've seen similar games like in Hitman that have done so well recently that you're like, I loved the Splinter Cell stuff. The Blacklist was fantastic.
Blacklist was amazing.
I want more of that. Just make it.
Make it. What's the problem, Tico?
Do it.
Tico,
take one of your teams working on some sort of downhill bike racing thing and put them on Splinter Cell.
Listen, Tico, why don't you take a picture of Blacklist and send it to them and tell them to make a new one?
You're just being ridiculous at this point, Sean.
Okay, well, speaking of ridiculous, can we move into television for a bit?
We can. I would have moved on ages ago, but it's not numbered 6, so I don't know where to go from this.
Oh, you are just killing me. You're just killing me here. Listen, let's talk about ridiculousness.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about this.
Lovecraft Country. This show doesn't know what it like. Listen, I'm enjoying the show, but I'm gonna tell you this: this show doesn't know what it wants to be.
So
last week we talked about the haunted house episode, right?
Right.
Suddenly this week it's an Indiana Jones episode. What?
So we talked about this, and I said this feels like playing Betrayal Legacy, or one of those games where like
Mansions of Madness. That's what I saw it described as.
Yeah, Mansions of Madness, where every scenario is sort of like a slightly different take on something, and that's what this feels like. It's like we're going to do another. This one's the Indiana Jones episode, and next week we're going to have another episode where it's going to be
a comedy next week. Watch you.
It'll
you
be
watch.
like they'll all be cartoons next week, and run into Scooby Doo.
I don't know what this show wants to be.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to watching it every week, but I am confused as to the direction.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like the first one was all like mystical, magic. It was like magic, mystical and magical. And then this third one was like the first two. And then the third one was a haunted house, like with spooky ghosts and creepy things. And then this one was an adventure.
Yeah, they found the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, they found
and they
exactly.
went down and they were looking for Voldemort.
And how did you describe it to me? Was Indiana Jones and the I don't know, something. It was literally like an Indiana Jones adventure.
That's like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Cthulhu or something like that.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what do you want to be, Lovecraft? Because I don't get it.
Well, and to be honest, this is very Lovecraftian in the way that the stories have all been told. There are so many different ways that the Lovecraft mythos is told that this is sort of, it follows along that a little bit. It's just weird to have it in a weekly TV series where they're changing it every week.
Every week.
Stick to one mythos and go with that direction. And it feels like we're going to do this, now this. And I'm enjoying it. It's one of those things where it's going to have to be like a rewatch when the whole season's done. It's like, oh, that was the path. Hopefully. Oh, that was the path. And instead of what the heck were they doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I really need to see how episode 2 is like we said last week or the last couple weeks. There's so many small things that happened, like small individual things that happened in episode 2 that you're like, well, how is that going to come back into play? Because at this point, it doesn't make sense. How that's going to mean anything later. A new show started called Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
Have you been watching this?
I am 2 episodes in to Raised by Wolves so far.
I am 4 episodes in, and and you and I were talking earlier, and I've described this as how did I describe this? It's weirdly entertaining. Like it's one of these things where like I don't know what's happening, but I want to keep watching. It's like the first episode started off very slow and like, sort of ticking along. You're building up, like I'm trying to find out what's going on, trying to find out what goes on, and then all of a sudden, like this just absolutely massive explosion of violence and stuff like that was cool. Like I don't know how much spoilery we want to get. No, I'm not going to spoil a thing, but it came out of nowhere.
No, it was just like very,
let's put it this way. Suddenly the main character is able to do something out of nowhere.
Like it felt, it was cool. Like I said to you, like I would love to, like, final level in a video game. That's the power that you get. Would be so cool.
So what I said to you earlier was Raised by Wolves is so intriguingly weird. Yes. And it's true because it's like, I am so intrigued by this show, but I don't know what I'm watching.
Yeah,
it's like a train wreck you just can't stop watching.
So here's what it feels like to me. This is almost Arthurian.
Yeah.
Set in space.
Yeah.
So like you've got, again, plug your ears if you don't want to hear like minor spoiler stuff, but almost like the main character, they are almost sort of like, I mean, she's a necromancer.
She's an android.
She's an android, but they call the class a necromancer class android, and they're protecting the chosen one child. The people who are coming to try to take them are wearing very Templar-esque garb.
Yes.
Even in like the war stuff in the sort of some of the flashbacks, they're running around. They look like almost like an armored knight running around, but with a laser.
They are. They're like the Templar. It's like a futuristic Templar battle.
Yeah.
It's the holy army versus the atheist is really what destroyed Earth essentially. But here's the weird thing I find about this show, Tico, is there's two specific characters that are on the army side.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil who they are, and then you've got the mother and father, the androids, taking care of the children.
Yeah.
And you're like, who am I supposed to be rooting as a viewer? Who am I supposed to be rooting for? Because what it comes down to is mother and father are doing what they're doing to care for the children. Okay. Yeah. And then there's we're called the Templar. I can't remember what the Mithraic army, but the two main characters on that side kind of aren't really with them. That's for lack of a better way of saying it. So it's like, you're rooting for those two, but you're also rooting for mother and father and the children, but they're kind of against each other. So who am I supposed to be rooting for here? I don't get it.
So far, we haven't really found anybody who's likable enough to be like, okay, that's the guy that I'm going to cheer for. I hope things work out for them. Like,
see, I disagree with that. I disagree with that statement.
And father maybe is kind of.
I disagree with that statement. I like a lot of the characters. The two characters in the Mithric army that are like, I guess I wasn't going to call them the good guys.
Yeah,
because we don't know much more about them.
I didn't say I didn't like them. I said they're not likable.
I think they're great. Yeah, well, actually, the main guy there is the one who played Ragnar Lothbrok on Vikings, and he's great. Something Flimmel or Femel or something. I can't remember his name.
You're just making up sounds.
I know. That's what words are, Tico. Did you not realize that words are just sounds?
If you're making them up, it doesn't count. Doesn't count.
The OMG hour was just made up years ago. So what are you saying? It's not real?
I'm saying exactly that. Not real.
All right, then we might as well just stop here because there's no point in continuing.
No, because there's the stuff that I watched coming up next.
So anyway, Raised by Wolves, it's fascinating, but it is weird.
Yeah, it is. I'm enjoying. I'll say this. I'm enjoying it. It is very odd. It is a very odd sci-fi take on something, and I don't know.
Some kind of a sci-fi, very slow burn mythos. Like they're trying to tell some weird tale, and it's a slow burn, and it's just intriguingly weird. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk about something else.
All right. So I watched a new show called Miss Scarlet and the Duke.
Yeah, this looks fascinating. I haven't seen it yet.
So this is set in whatever century London where Jack the Ripper type of thing happened.
The
Jack the Ripper,
18th century, 19th century, late 19th centuries.
Yes. No, there's no Jack the Ripper in it. I just use that as a reference because people go, oh yeah, when people wear the hats.
It's Victorian London.
Yeah. And so Miss Scarlet is the daughter of a private investigator, private detective, who dies. Who dies.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I suppose that is a little bit of a spoiler. But anyways, I mean, it's not like Miss Scarlet and her dad. It's Miss Scarlet and the Duke.
Oh, then the Duke's not her dad.
No, the Duke is not her dad.
Okay.
The Duke is as a investigator for Scotland Yard.
Okay.
And so she wants to be a detective. She wants to follow in her father's footsteps, but it's not really, it's not really looked kindly upon in that century for a woman to be, doing this. But she's a very like Sherlock Holmesian house type of.
Is it comedy, drama? Is it like what kind of a show is it?
It is a drama.
Okay.
It is a crime drama. That has, like a House was a drama where they have like a little,
Right.
a barb here or
So
there.
it's not lighthearted comedic type thing. It's an actual full on like murder mystery type drama.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. Really, I've actually watched the whole thing at this point. I think it's like 6 or 8 episodes. I've actually watched the whole thing. I binged it pretty quick. And they get you through the first chunk of story. I hope it's coming back with more stuff. They do come to a resolution to the end of the first thing, but it's the characters are very.
It's a continuing story then. Is it like one?
Yes,
it's one story throughout the whole thing.
It's one story throughout the whole thing with little stories thrown in. So like each episode has its own individual little story, but like the overarchingness of something else.
There's an anthology going through it. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Really, really enjoyed this. The characters are enjoyable, likable. And it's fun. It's a fun show. I would recommend checking it out.
I think I will, and I think Dorothy would probably enjoy this because she likes the period piece stuff as well.
Yeah,
and I love that kind of a period piece. Victorian London. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, and it's not super dry.
How do they do it without the internet? Like that's just like.
Well, they just they use their mental acuity. Sometimes they get pictures.
What?
They look at a picture and they go, "Oh, it was the butler that done it."
And does that picture speak 1,000 words? Is it worth 1,000 words?
It's worth 2,000 because they have more than one picture.
Ah, perfect.
Now you're gonna watch it. You're gonna go like, "Oh, there's the picture episode that he was talking about."
Spoiler alert! There's pictures.
There's a picture episode where they use pictures to solve the crime.
Oh no!
There's actually 2 episodes where they have pictures that are used to solve the crime.
Oh man!
I know. They should call it Miss Scarlet and the Pictures, but no, the Duke is.
Because that would be a spoiler if they called it the Pictures, right?
Well, I just spoiled it anyways.
I don't know why I keep you around.
And I watched more stuff. This was a big TV week for me.
Yeah, I watched this as well. The Fugitive, a new movie on Quibbly, which is a weird social or mobile platform.
Yeah, so it is a mobile streaming service called Quibbly that started up a little while ago, and the concept there is that they release content in 8-minute chunks.
It's so weird. It's literally it was a 120-minute film.
Yeah,
broken up into 8 and 7-minute chunks.
Yeah, and so they've done it. They have quite a few of them, and they got. In order to launch this network, they got quite a number of big name actors to do. There's a few of them. There's a movie that one of them called Most Wanted or Most Dangerous something with Thor. Anna Kendrick has that one with the sex doll.
Yeah, that was terrible.
There's one with what's her name from Game of Thrones.
Oh, what's her name? That one.
The redhead, Sophie
Sansa.
Turner. Sophie, Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. There's one with her in it. So Quibbly is it is only available on mobile, and you can't watch it on another device. So these are meant to be watched on your phone in 8-minute chunks.
It's your commute. It's your commute watch. You're on the bus. You can watch an episode.
We discussed this. They were all broken up into poop time.
Poop time. That's right. Poop time. It's bathroom watching.
It's bathroom watching. So like, it's like, hey, how long is it going to take to watch this episode of The Fugitive? It's like, well, if you want to watch the whole thing at once, that's 10 poops. And
it's actually 16 poops.
It's 16 poops. That's like a Taco Bell night or something like that. You get the. So in any case, the show itself is a retelling of the Fugitive.
It's Tommy a reimagining.
Reimagining. It is not the same story.
Not the same story. Not the same characters. Nothing. It's just it is a new Fugitive. I thought it was really well done, although the main character made some really stupid decisions at the beginning.
Yeah. So in order, you have to suspend some disbelief, like the guy he's a fugitive, so he runs when there's no reason for him to run.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
They didn't do enough. They didn't do it because they're 8 minutes episodes. They didn't do enough setup to make you understand why is the guy not just going up and talking to the cops and clearing this up.
Right.
Instead of running. And again, then making Kiefer Sutherland, who's the cop, making him a complete a-hole for no reason whatsoever.
Yep. Other than the fact that his wife died in 9/11, so he sees everything as a terrorist attack, and he just goes in 100%.
And he doesn't do any investigation at all. It's like, it's that guy, and now we're going to spend the rest of your poop chasing this guy.
They do shoddy investigation, and then assume they've got the guy after that shoddy investigation.
And just make no... so anyways, it's absolutely worth the watch, though. It was fun. Like, I did find the 8-minute segments where... Like, I watched 8 minutes. I can get another 8 minutes in.
I watched it in 2 nights.
Yeah, I think I watched it in 2 sittings as well. Like I didn't watch it in sittings. I actually.
Oh, didn't you? You didn't go sit on the toilet and watch it?
No, I watched this on my television. So I did not use the appropriate venue for this show. But I did enjoy it. It was. It was easy to get through. I actually don't mind these 8-minute things when you put it all together. If you said, "Hey, I'm going to release a show weekly, and every week I'm going to give you 8 minutes of it," I'd be like, "No, thanks." Right. But if you give me a movie and break it into those 8-minute segments, I'm like, "Okay, that's actually not a bad thing." Because it's like when you're reading a book. It's like, okay, one more chapter, I'm going to go to bed.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's what it really felt like. One more chapter, and then I'll call it a day. I know I have 4 chapters left to watch tomorrow.
What's nice about that 8 minutes is there's no wasted time. Like, there's credits. There's credits at the end, but there's no intro. It's just, it starts where the last one ended, and then like a minute or 2 in, it just shows you the title, but nothing ever stops. Like, there's no title sequence, so they're not wasting time.
It's just up on the screen. It's like episode 3. Directed by this guy, and produced by this guy,
but it's just
written by this guy. And sorry, you were trying to say something.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
I'm done with you.
That's been. Listen, you've made that threat before. Nobody believes it at this point.
Hi, guys. Let's just go on without Tico for a while.
He can't cut out my voice. He can't get rid of the voice.
Actually, I can. I can talk, Tico. Oh. No, that's not working either. Never mind.
Right. Bring me back, Sean. Bring me back.
Whatever.
Okay. I enjoyed it. You enjoy it?
I did. I actually really, really enjoyed the resolution. I like how it all came together. It's sort of like that moment when the characters realize it's not him.
Yeah.
It was like, finally.
Yeah, and I liked that there were. I don't want to do spoilers, but I liked that there were consequences at the end.
Yes, yeah.
If you know what I mean, for the things that happened in the episodes
and the people that said the things and that did the things. Yeah.
I'm glad that happened. What else came back, Sean? What else came back this week?
Well, I don't know because I haven't watched more of it. We talked about The Boys last week, and that's all I've seen.
Did we talk about it?
Yes. What? I've watched episode 1. That's it.
Oh, I didn't realize that you hadn't watched it anymore. Well, then, The Boys is back. The boys are back.
So let's talk about what is coming back and then ending. We got a few things happening here. So The Walking Dead it's actually coming to an end. Season 11 is going to be the final season of The Walking Dead, but there's going to be a couple of new Walking Dead shows after that, in addition to Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead World Beyond.
Yeah.
So both Daryl and Carol are going to be. They're going to be.
They call it that.
Yeah, the Daryl and Carol Hour. They're going to be spun off into a new show with the two of them starring. So, this. Here's the funny thing about this. Every freaking week of The Walking Dead, I am always worried something's going to happen to Daryl. Now I don't need to worry anymore because he's getting his own show.
Unless it's him and Carol as zombies. And we get to see the view from zombies. So we have that. We have the already announced the
Tales?
A World Apart or something.
Yeah, I just mentioned that. World Beyond. Yeah.
World Beyond, and then this, and then there is an anthology series that has apparently already been announced that I didn't really realize, but Tales from the Walking Dead.
Yeah, I've never heard of this either, but that's apparently in development.
Yeah, which is going to be an anthology series that is going to focus on different like different areas, different characters, different stories from the world of The Walking Dead, which I'm really excited about, to be able to get some stories from some of the areas that we've not seen before, to find out how this virus took off in other areas potentially, and maybe even to introduce new characters that they can bring into any of these other shows.
Right.
I personally would love to see New Orleans.
New Orleans after the apocalypse, yeah.
After the apocalypse. I just want to see a bunch of zombies walking around with beads. I just want to...
beaded zombies.
I just want to see, you know, like Mardi Gras zombie stuff, because I think it would be fun.
That would be
like
funny.
It just feels like that.
But that's what Tales could be. Tales could be, every episode could be what Lovecraft Country is doing. It could be something different every episode.
Yeah.
You know, it could be, you know, supernatural one episode. It could be a haunted house the next, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe an adventure the next episode.
It could be.
You know, something that an anthology show would do. What I'm wondering, and what I kind of hope for The Walking Dead season 11 as it comes back early next year, is they're going to obviously finish off season 10 finale, which they didn't get to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be the end of the Whisperer War. I kind of hope the season after they introduced Negan was kind of a lull season. It was sort of a building season.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they do the same thing for season 11. I hope season 11 doesn't have like a big bad they're fighting against. I kind of hope it takes more of a building the community, a building the future of this world. You know what I mean? Like giving it that proper ending where people have finally got a home now. This is where they are. This is where, you know what I mean? Like it was the season where they spent in Alexandria building it up. I want to see them doing that in season 11 and not just some new war against someone else.
It'll be interesting to see. We still will have the Rick Grimes movies.
Yes, yeah. And we've got Lauren Cohen coming back, right? So Maggie's coming back, and my understanding is Maggie has been in contact, and so has Eugene. Actually, has been in contact with another colony. So I'm wondering if season 11 is going to be more about kind of bringing the colony together, bringing them into whatever this colony is, which I'm pretty sure from the comic books, it's a good place. And I kind of hope that's where season 11 is. There's going to be trials along the way, but I hope it's sort of about them getting to the colony and becoming part of the colony. And that would be a good place to end it. And it would make sense for both Carol and Daryl to go off on their own.
Because they're not really community people.
No, they're not. That's exactly right.
They are both loners, so to speak. That they want to help. They want to help everybody. Once everybody's in a safe place, they have no real. They're more nomads. They want to okay, you guys are safe. That's great. I've done my job of taking care of you. I'm now going to go venture off on my own.
Right, and I think that's the perfect place to spin off the Daryl and Carol show, whatever it's going to be called, the Daryl and Carol Hour.
Yeah, I hope they come across Daryl and Carol come across Morgan and the gang from Fear the Walking Dead at some point too,
but then they would have to bring Fear up into the current time though. Fear is still back like 9 years ago.
Yeah,
right. So they would have to bring Fear up 9 years, which they haven't done yet. But I mean, of course they could. But
we might know that in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to time jump. They're not going to time jump Fear this season.
Time travel.
No. The Peacock. So we talked about this last week. Peacock Network has actually fully greenlit the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There was a viral Fresh Prince video on YouTube. Teaser. A year or 2 years ago. It was called Bel-Air. It was just a film made by a filmmaker. And it wasn't meant to be anything. That exact producer, creator has been brought on by Peacock and has been ordered 2 seasons based on that teaser.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the teaser, it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and they've actually the official trailer has come out for this now. For Bel-Air.
No, that official trailer is that trailer from 2 years ago. It is now official because that's what the show is based on.
Yeah, and it's so odd to watch it because it feels like this very gritty take on it, but he's still calling Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv and all of these stuff.
The characters are all the same, but
the characters, that's what I mean. It's
a drama.
So weird.
It is a drama.
So weird to see it as a drama because you've got Carlton's in this, and you see this guy. He's wearing the sweater around his neck, and
he still does the Carlton dance.
He still does the dance, and it's so weird to not think of this as like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah,
of some.
It's so well done, and if they can keep that tone into the new show and actually make it a drama, it's going to be fantastic. And Will Smith is totally on board with it.
Yeah, he's an executive producer on it. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, their studio is doing executive producing on it. Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to that. I cannot wait. That'll probably be out maybe next year or the year after.
Yeah.
And one more thing before we go, because we are at time. Wonder Woman has been delayed for the 6th time. Wonder Woman 1984 has now been delayed to Christmas Day.
What is this, New Mutants?
Six times this movie has been delayed. And now there's rumors, Tico, that Black Widow will be delayed again.
Yeah, all these delays are sad to me. But I mean, and you're seeing these delays because box office returns and stuff like that from Tenet are starting to show up, and they're not as high as they wanted.
Although Tenet is getting good reviews from people.
It's getting good reviews, but people aren't going to the theater yet.
Right.
Like I don't want to go to the theater yet. I'm not interested in doing that yet.
What this means is this new poster I just got, the Black Widow poster, it says November 5th on it. Right? So that means that's going to be a collector's item if they decide to go and postpone it again. So I'm building out there now, $1,000. I'll sell it. $1,000 for my Black Widow poster.
I'm willing to sell mine for $500.
He doesn't have one, folks.
Yeah, but I know where you got yours, and if people are going to be $500, I'll get one.
You watch the place I bought it. If it gets delayed, that price of that poster is going to skyrocket.
Oh, do they do that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Like these Star Wars posters, if I wanted to buy that Star Wars poster in full movie size, it's about $500. I'm not even kidding.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's ridiculous how much actual double-sided, because they're Lightbox posters. They're double-sided, you know, and they're full-size movie posters that you would see on the outside of a theater. And, in the Lightbox, these things are not cheap. Like, I got a good price because it's brand new, but the older they are, the more rare they are, the price skyrockets. I've seen Star Wars posters for over $500 the day they came out. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that is it for episode number 384. Give us a like, subscribe down below, leave a comment. If you are not seeing us on YouTube, if you have not subscribed, visit us at youtube.com/OMGNexus and give us a subscription. That would be awesome. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at the OMG Hour. On Facebook, we are OMG Nexus, and I am Zion Tane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place and Instagram for your board game fun with flipping tables with OMG. Check us out there.
That's it for everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will talk at you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Subscribe.
Press the buttons.
Hit the button right. I can't point at it.
No, down.
Down.
Right. No, other way. Turn. Yep. Turn a little bit the other way, towards me. Towards me. No, you do both fingers the same direction.
You point to it right there. And then check out those videos over there. All right, we suck.
Yeah,
I'm not even on screen anymore.
We're not good. We're not good at pointing.
I'm done.
Terrible at pointing.